So now I'll be explaining on the different things that will comprise in planning, the different elements of quality planning. First, you must know the standards. Okay, that is so obvious, isn't it? I mean, like you must know your authority standards. That is minimum. In order to reach that quality objective. Okay, and what is your objective? Is your objective to meet the minimum requirement for the authority, or is it to meet the minimum requirement of the client? There is different level of standards, you see. Like I said, I like that level of quality. The first level is to fit for its intent. I mean, like basically no problem, no issues. Okay, and fit for the client's. Fit for the usage, fit for its intended purpose. And then the second, third layer, we'll be talking about meeting the requirements, the authority requirement, the standards. So standards actually is quite minimum. It's on the level 1 and 2, 3 kind of scales, in the quality, in the quality objective that we're looking at. You must meet the minimum standard. You cannot not meet the minimum standard. So it is already at very bare minimum, to have a standard. That's why I put standard first, you see. If you can't even meet the basic standard, then what more to say meet the client's requirement? That if you're using Eurocode, what is the minimum requirement for Eurocode? If you're using VS Code, what is the requirement for VS Code? If you're using Malaysian systems and ISO, or you are, not ISO, CIRIM. What is CIRIM standard? CIRIM is Malaysians, they need to check some products, go to them for testing, and if they pass the CIRIM certification, means that this product has been tested by this government-based organization that will govern all the product quality. Even a socket, even furniture, socket, electrical appliances, all these will come to CIRIM. Even PALs will be sent to CIRIM for testing. Yeah, so hopefully the product itself is good, you see. So CIRIM will randomly test product. So they're just doing random tests. So they must be CIRIM product. So any new product must basically have standards. And whatever project that you embark onto, you must know what standard that you're applying. Like I said, codes are very basic standards. Government regulations are standards. The authority requirement, different authority like water board, like the drainage authority, land and survey, they all have their checklists and standards that you need to follow, in order to meet that minimum requirement. Okay. I give you something on ISO here because I think that is very international in a way. It's just very overall, everybody knows about the standards. So these are some of the standards that is available in order to do quality management systems. This is ISO, but there's a lot of new updates now. So you can use this as a standard if you don't have any standards. Specs and specification, designers' requirements are also standards. Okay, if the designer designed this according to certain standards, then when you build, you must go according to the designer standard. Whether it's a designer for polymers, whether it's a designer for a manufacturing line, whether it's designer for an alloy, whether it's designer for concrete mixture, you have to follow certain standards. You see, so they have standards to follow. So the production, you have to follow the designer standard, which because they have already followed some international or some code or some regulation standards, so it is quite safe. So yeah, so for builders, for service provider, these are the few standards that is available that you can look at. Okay, and then after that, we must know the quality policy. Okay, policy here we're talking about not just general policies like ISO policy. No, it's not that. It's about the leadership in your organization. What is your organization, or whether your client's organization, you are the contractor or service provider, what is your client's policy on quality? It could be your organization as a service provider. What is your policy? Meaning that what is your vision? What is your mission? What is your direction? Where are you going? Some company, we know a lot of like range of organizations. See, like even let's say the word development, there will be some organizations that they just are going for the price, you see. Some company, like even for other goods and services, there are some companies just completely go for the price. They don't go for quality. If that is their mission and vision and their direction for quality in terms of their policy in the company, it's very difficult to convince them to spend more money on quality, to spend more money on planning. It's very difficult, okay? Because they just don't have that leadership commitment the from the people putting the project together. So there are developers who just completely, they are building quality product. There are contractors who are just into quality, and their mission and their vision, they are very disciplined. It will lead to a culture, you see. So we will talk about culture in another few sessions down the track. But when you have a policy that is very directed to, committed to bringing about good quality end product, then basically you've got a good leadership in terms of quality and commitment from the leadership, and then that will actually propel down to the floor people or to the site people. Then they will tend to be doing it more disciplinedly. Not only you plan, they will spend time on planning. They will also spend time on meeting the minds of the client. They will sit down and work with clients on what they want, what exactly they want from their work, from the end product, and then carry out a very good discussion, and also take down the requirement, and then they will design, they will tailor make, they will streamline end product according to that direction that this company have, you see. So it will actually propel, it will propel, policies propel down, to the end product. It is seen in the end product, you see. So it cannot be you're selling something for a certain price, but yet it doesn't have that quality. You can have good quality and cheap, yes, maybe, but there will be something that is not there, and that is quite common. So there's no such thing as cheap and good, really, Cheap may be good, but the lifespan may be short, you see, so you tend to change more often. So for example, handphone. You get a 600 ringgit handphone, which is, really good, but then maybe about a year later or 2 years later, you need to change a new handphone. So because the battery is not working out or something is wrong with the screen, it's very easily, it will break down very easily, for example. So that was the price, you see. So I really hope that all engineers can realize that and stop trying to say that, you want to squeeze people in terms of money. You want them you don't want the client, you don't want to pay for it, but yet you want it. So it's just not possible. You cannot build a mansion. You cannot build a palace with just limited budgets and limited time. So that is the trade-off that we're going to have, you see. So in terms of policy, if the company vision and mission is, into quality, you will see that it will show up in the end product. They are willing to spend, they are willing to be disciplined, they will send team of people to do quality checking, monitoring, and analysis, so that they keep on improving. They will improve as they go along. So that is very, very normal. So a policy in the company needs to be really propelled down to the floor people. It's no use when the head of the company says, so let's do quality product, and then your staff doesn't know anything about it. It's just like your supervisor don't care, your engineers don't care, or your engineers care, your supervisor care, but your site people don't care, or your floor people don't care, then it will not bring about any quality improvement, you see. So there will not be an upgrade at all. So this policy not only has to be leadership, it has to be entire company. It's like a culture that will be built in. It's like a habit. It's like a muscle memory that will be built in for this purpose. So it has to be there first, and then practice, emphasize, and then it will become muscle memory for everybody.